Can you guess, of the over 600 people that voted on this poll, what percentage had under 1,000 subscribers? 80%. And if you're like this dude, grown frustrated, ready to give up on your journey to get over 1,000 subscribers, don't give up. I am going to help you. I am sharing 5 proven, non-generic, actually tried and tested strategies to getting your first 1,000 subscribers this year. These are the same strategies that I work with my clients on and going from 0 to 10K and building profitable and impactful YouTube channels. So grab your notebook, you're not gonna miss a single one of these. And be sure to stay to the end because the last tip is the key to building a really profitable channel. What's up, it's Danie, your guide to authentic video. If you haven't yet, grab my Starting on YouTube cheat sheet and let's dive in. The first step in building to 1,000 subscribers this year is being a smart fisherman. Now, a couple years ago, I went to Alaska with my 2 besties, and yes, we saved a killer whale, but we also went fishing. And I'd never really fished before, and I learned that you have to pick the type of fish you want to fish for, and then you have to pick the certain bait that fish is gonna hook onto, and then you gotta go where the fish are actually at. And so like halibut, you had to fish on the floor, I don't even know. Salmon, you had to have the boat running and like have live bait. It was crazy. I learned a lot. And YouTube is the same way. You've got to pick the fish, you got to pick the right bait, and then you got to go where your viewers are actually at, where they're swimming around. So let's dive into how you need to be a fisherman for your channel. Numero uno, you've got to pick the fish that you're trying to pull into your channel. You need to get really strategic on the one person that you're trying to talk to. If you're trying to fish for halibut and mahi-mahi and salmon and goldfish, you ain't gonna catch any fish. You're gonna have no viewers. So you need to get specific. Who am I talking to? And how do you do this? You write out a really solid buyer persona, and AI, thank my goodness, can help you. Now, you'll see here on a Google Doc, I wrote out a list of criteria of the one person that I'm trying to talk to on my channel. Now you notice if you don't fit this person, that's totally cool, right? You're still watching my channel. Same thing will apply for your channel as well. But I want you to pick that one person, and then you can write down the same criteria I have listed here of like the name, like the age, the occupation, the hobbies, what are the deep desires, what are the pain points, all of that. And you're gonna go into an AI tool like ChatGPT. And you'll see here, I typed into ChatGPT, take all this criteria and write out a really detailed buyer persona for me. And it's gonna write out an amazing description of the one person you're trying to pull in. And we're gonna use this again here in a second. Now the next part of fishing, now that we picked the fish, is picking the bait to pull in that ideal viewer. And there are really 2 ways that your content's gonna show up on YouTube. Number 1 is gonna be through the search engine. People will type in something, your video is gonna pop up. And the second way is through YouTube's suggestion and people's homepage and related videos. So let's start with the bait we need regarding the search engine. In order to show up in YouTube search engine, you have to figure out what your ideal viewer is actually searching for and create content that's gonna, when they search up and find it, you're going to be there, and then you're going to pull them into your channel. And there are 3 ways that I recommend that you find ideas to create searchable content. These are like frequently asked questions, how-tos, videos that compare things. I recommend that you could go back into ChatGPT where you just were, and you could type in, hey, take this buyer persona and give me ideas of frequently asked questions that this person is typing into in regards to, and then insert like your specific niche. That's a great way of getting a bunch of really awesome starting YouTube ideas. Also, using TubeBuddy. You hear me talk about TubeBuddy all the time. TubeBuddy's Keyword Explorer tool will actually give you scores on how likely it thinks you are to show up in YouTube search engine based off of different long tail keywords and search phrases. You can get a discounted link to TubeBuddy by clicking up in the cards above in the description box down below. And third, I highly recommend that you look at what's working for your competitors. Find people that are similar to you, especially more like small and medium-sized channels that are in your niche or also trying to talk to the same type of viewer, and see what are their top videos. Go to their channel, click videos, and click popular and see what are their more recent videos that have done really well or have done abnormally well compared to their other content that you could also be creating. Now, I don't recommend to watch those videos, but getting ideas of what's working is super helpful in terms of titles. Now, pro tip, find holes in the market. This is like one of the best ways to be able to scale your channel to over 1,000 subscribers. If you know in your own searches for your own niche where you've searched something up and there's not content on that, Did that make sense? Then you gotta make a video on it. It means if there is a search phrase that you typed in and you couldn't find the answer to your question, that means that there's a gap there. That means that you should make that video, because we know that your ideal viewer is probably also searching up those things, looking for it, and they can't find it. So if you're the video showing up when people type in that search phrase for that hole, it's gonna help you grow so much faster. And this is something that has really helped my channel. I remember I was trying to search up how to create a circle ring around your profile picture. This is back when I was doing some more Canva tutorials, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I was like, I'm gonna make a video on that. That video was then showing up first in the search engine, and it did so well. And now it has over 100,000 views. It's brought in over 200 subscribers. And because that video did so well, I made another video very similar to it. And that video also is ranking super high, is one of my top videos, and also brought in hundreds of subscribers as well. So another bonus tip there is, if you have a video that does really well, make another video that's similar to it or on that similar topic, because YouTube loves to see if this is working. They're gonna push out another video that's similar, because it's gonna say, ooh, people like this. They're also gonna like this video as well. It's gonna keep people on our platform for longer. Ooh, so we've covered the search engine. Now let's cover videos that show up on the homepage or get pushed out by YouTube's suggestion. In order for your videos to get pushed out in this way, you have to usually find more like trending, kind of like spicy topics, like, you know, showing a little shoulder topics. At least in terms of the titles. The titles and the thumbnails generally for these videos need to be a little bit more enticing. You've got to find what trends are working in your niche or just on YouTube in general. For example, in the social media niche, I saw that there was this trend where everyone was doing these videos of like the 10 Instagram hacks that you didn't know existed, in all caps. And I saw I would scroll through and I saw so many videos that were all searching, and they were all showing up really well, getting suggested by YouTube, getting people hundreds of thousands of views, and everyone was using the same title. And so I told myself, I know that there's something about this title that's really working, that's getting people enticed and wanting to click on it. And I took it, and because I don't do Instagram tips, I said, I'm gonna take this title and I'm gonna use it for YouTube Shorts. And boom, that video is one of my best videos that I've ever created. It has brought me actually over 6,000 subscribers. So it can be very advantageous for you to look around and see, ooh, are there trending titles that I see them really working? Like a day in the life as, or morning routine of a. There are so many different trending titles. I'll try and list some right here that you can use for your channel. Also, in order to know what's trending, it's really important that you're on YouTube quite often and kind of looking at titles. I'm not always watching YouTube videos, but I'm looking and seeing what trends I see. If you go to youtube.com/feed/trending, you'll be able to see what are all the top trending videos of the day. And you can look there and see, ooh, what do they have in common? What do the thumbnails have in common? What's working about these titles? What things can I learn from these that I can apply to my own channel? Now that you understand searchable videos and more trending style videos, what I recommend to do is to do mainly searchable videos as a new YouTuber, building up your subscriber count, and then mix in some trending. So I'd say for every 4 searchable videos you do like 1 trending video. And that's not a strict rule, but I think if you do a mixture like that, or like 3 and 1, you are going to really set yourself up for success and building up to 1,000 subscribers so much faster. So remember, be a strategic fisherman. The second step in getting your first 1,000 subscribers is to stop being a movie and be a TV show. Movies are long, and usually the sequels are wah-wah. Jumanji 2 is actually pretty good. I digress. But with TV shows, they are juicy. They pull you in. You can't wait to get to that next episode. You're like, just one more. 8 hours go by and you've watched Bridgerton in a full day. You need to treat your YouTube channel with the mentality that this is a TV show. Now, audience retention on YouTube is everything. If people watch your video and they dip out really quick, and you have people only watching like 10% of your video, it's gonna get dropped in the YouTube algorithm like that. It's not going to show up in search. It's not going to get suggested. So it is very important that you hold your viewers' attention like a good TV show does. There's a really strong hook that pulls people in. They cut out the fluff. You have only the main points in it, and they have really enticing main characters. You need to do all of these things for your channel. So let's start with the good hook. In the beginning of your videos, you need to have like the strongest hook. The most time you need to be spending on your video, honestly, is like that intro part. You need to hit people's pain point and the desired outcome and make it really clear by watching this video, you're gonna get what you want. I recommend trying to keep your intros under 40 seconds. And remember, nobody cares about you, they just care about how you can help them. And so get into the meat of your video very quickly. And always start with the juiciest tip. Or pretend like this is like a telenovela. Get into the drama of your video, get into that best tip or whatever right away. That's gonna really pull people in. It's gonna keep them watching. They're gonna say, ooh, this is really good. I wonder what else she's got coming in this video. And another pro tip, you'll notice that I did it in this video. You can always like kind of entice people to stay to the end and be like, be sure to stay to the end because the last tip is the juiciest and the most common mistake that I see that people make. Something like that can keep people on your videos for longer, upping the retention rate and allowing YouTube to want to push it out more. Just like in a TV show where they have a little trailer and you kind of see like, ooh, what's enticing to come? You can do that in the intro of your video. Next, you have got to have main character energy in your videos. What does that mean? In our favorite TV shows, generally, we love main characters that are human. They're not perfect. They have quirks. That's what makes them lovable. And so that needs to be you too. Stop trying to show up as your perfect, most like polished self and show up as you actually are. It's time to say goodbye to the perfectionism and know that the more human you show up, the more yourself you show up, the more likable you're actually gonna become. For me personally, I will say the most engagement I've ever gotten in a video is when I am wearing a pleather jacket and in it I get a little insecure and I'm like, is this pleather jacket working for me or not? I like do a little jig in it. And let me tell you, some people hated that and some people loved it. But the people that were my people commented and they're like, the pleather's working for you. I had somebody recently be like,
did your retention drop at that point because you really lost me there?
And so I checked my analytics. And guess what? My retention actually went up. It made me more likable, but for some it also made me less likable. That's amazing. A good main character energy does that. You either like the person or you hate the person. There's really no neutral. You don't want to be neutral because nobody watching a TV show with a neutral character, right? So be more yourself and script in parts of your script where you can actually show your personality in the beginning. If that makes you uncomfortable, think to yourself like, how would I say this to a friend? Talk to the camera like it's a friend, and then put in places where you can ad-lib and share your actual little opinion or a little story that strengthens your point and shares a little bit more about who you are. Main character energy. And next, TV shows are binge-worthy, or the best ones are. And so your YouTube videos need to be binge-worthy as well. How do you do that? You need to be referring to your other YouTube videos within your YouTube videos. And you'll notice in this video, as I'm talking, I'm gonna be referring to other videos that I want you to go check out after this one because it's gonna keep you on my channel for longer, but also I know those videos are gonna be super helpful for you to get what you're wanting out of YouTube. So never forget to script in referencing other videos that you've created to keep people watching your channel for longer. And at the end of your videos, always make sure that you are pushing people into another video that they can watch. Like, while you wait for next week's video, you can check out this video on YouTube thumbnails and I'll see you next time, right? So it clearly states where they can be going and binging on to the next thing. The third step in getting your first 1,000 subscribers is be a Target and not a Walmart. Let me ask you, where would you want to go to shop? Target or Walmart? For me, I am going to Target. Why? It is so much more of an experience. I'm buying the same things that I would get at Walmart, but Target is more elevated. It feels more bougie. I enjoy being there. It's like crisp. It's a little fancier. They got a Starbucks in it, so I can get a little a Starbucks latte and walk around and buy things that I maybe don't need. You want your channel to have that same vibe. It needs to be elevated. And so you need to look at your channel right now. Is someone gonna get to your channel and think, ooh, I like it here, I would totally subscribe? Are they gonna get to your homepage and be like, ooh, I don't know, like what's going on here? All the branding sort of off. I can't really tell what you're all about. It feels disoriented. Like I feel very disoriented at Walmart. No, we want it to have a crisp, clean aesthetic. We want it to be really clear of what exactly it is that you offer and make people feel like they want to come back. How do you do that? The first thing I would recommend if you don't have it yet is creating a clear branding guide. And you can create a branding template in Canva and put together, these are the fonts I like to use. These are the colors I like to use. You can use colors.com. If you are really bad at aesthetics, Hire somebody on Fiverr to do your branding for you for like 20 bucks. But get really clear on like, this is what my branding looks like and I'm gonna stick with it so that I'm consistent and make sure it looks good. Things like people do judge books by their cover on YouTube and you want like a nice aesthetic, okay? You could even look at like your favorite brands on YouTube and try and pick ones outside of your own niche and see like what kind of vibe do they have? What aesthetic is it that they're pushing out? Does that fit yours? Put your own little spin on it and create something that feels like you but also is, you know, looking good. I highly recommend that after this video, you go and watch my YouTube channel banner tutorial. I've got a template that's gonna allow you to create a really clear banner. It's gonna make it super clear when people get onto your channel what you're all about. And then you also watch my how to set up your channel homepage video. That video is going to be very helpful in setting up a channel that appeals to your ideal viewer and makes it really clear what exactly you're all about. So definitely check out those two videos. Now, your aesthetics are also so vital when it comes to thumbnails. Your thumbnails are the windows to the souls of your YouTube videos. Thumbnails are what's gonna get the click of your video. And so I would love for you to look and see who are your top competitors. What do their thumbnails look like? What's working for them? Look at top YouTubers. What do their thumbnails look like? What's working for them? I have a thumbnail tutorial that I highly recommend that you check out and watch. You wanna make sure that you've got an emotional picture of your face, that you've got good branding, that it's really clear what you're talking about in the video, but also that it's enticing. Take time to create solid, aesthetically pleasing thumbnails and look and see what's working within your niche. And if you're bad at creating thumbnails in Canva, outsource it. It is very advantageous to outsource for $5 a thumbnail, your thumbnails, when you're starting out to build your channel in order to increase your click-through rate. Your click-through rate on YouTube, if you look at it right now, if you go into your YouTube studio and you look at your overall click-through rate, if it is less than 4%, that's not good. You need to watch my YouTube thumbnail training, or you need to just start outsourcing your thumbnail creation to someone who does it all the time in order to get that number up and get more people clicking on your videos you spent a lot of time and hard work on. The fourth step in getting your first 1,000 subscribers is to channel the energy of your multi-level marketing aunt. What? You need to share your videos shamelessly with your friends and family, okay? Sharing your videos in the first 48 hours of you posting them is super vital. That first 48 hours of it being on YouTube where it's actually live are going to really make or break your video. And so you're gonna wanna promote it as much as you possibly can. And if you're a smaller YouTuber, then that means you gotta harness the power of family and send that video out. You will notice if you've been on YouTube for a little bit that most of your views are gonna come within those first couple days, and after that it's gonna taper off a little unless it's really showing up well in the YouTube search engine. Then you'll still get a steady stream of views coming in, but there's always gonna be like a spike when you first publish the video, and then it'll usually kind of taper off and then even out from there. And so there are things that we can do to really help push it out in the algorithm in the beginning to help keep it there and show YouTube like this video is worth showing up in the search engine. And so how do we do this? Please remember that sub for sub, follow for follow, view for view, none of those things ever work. But what does work is getting actual people to watch your video. And so when I pushed out a video, and especially when I was first starting out on YouTube, I shared my videos shamelessly. I would text all my friends and be like, hey, do me a favor and like watch this video in full. And besides texting it out, I also share it in these 6 ways. Number 1, I do a community post, and I found that if you do a poll, it also boosts it because people love to vote on polls, and I link to the video. But you can also just do a community post with your thumbnail or with a little Giphy of you from that. But you can always do community post just of the thumbnail. That works great too. 2, I share my video on Pinterest. Super easy. Go to the video, hit share on Pinterest, and bada bing, bada boom, it's done. 3, I always email my email list. Even if you have a small email list, be sure to be sending it out. I use my favorite AI copywriting software, Hypotenuse. You can get a free 7-day link to that up above and down below, and you'll see when I go into Hypotenuse, I'll type in what I want the email to be about, and then it will write out that email for me, and I just tweak it a little bit, and I send it out usually within about 15 minutes of that video actually going live. Now remember, with your emails, you need a really juicy email header, so you can always search for email header ideas on Google, or you can even think of like, what emails do I like to open that have enticed me, and get creative with it, because you really want to make sure people open the email in order to click on the video. That starts with a good email header, just like the same ideology of your YouTube thumbnails. The next place I share it is my Instagram, and I like to share it in stories. And what I'll usually do is I'll get on stories and I'll talk a little bit about whatever the video's on, and then I will share a link to it and even sometimes a little preview of the intro of that video as well. You can also create a reel from the intro of your video too to help push it out even more. And you cannot forget to add your link and video to your Linktree or whatever Linktree sort of software that you use. Now, the fifth step to getting your first 1,000 subscribers, the one that I said is gonna really be the one that makes or breaks if your channel is profitable or not. And so that is treating your audience like you're building a rural town, not like you're building a city. Now, when I go visit my grandparents, they live in a town of about 900 people, okay? Very small town, rural vibes, in like the middle of cornfield, Illinois. And when I go to their church with them on Sunday, literally everybody knows who I am. Do I know who anybody is? Not really. And they all knew that I was coming into town like 3 weeks prior to me even being there. Why? Because it's a tight-knit community and they genuinely care about my grandparents, and my grandparents genuinely care about them. Everybody knows everything about everybody. And you want your YouTube community to be tight-knit. You want them to genuinely care about you. And how do you get that? How do you create that rural town type of vibe? The law of reciprocity is a great start. So the law of reciprocity, for example, if I come and I bring you a basket of muffins, you would then feel obliged, like if we were neighbors, then to bring me something maybe in a few weeks. You would feel like kind of like you owed me something, even though you wouldn't. And so treat your audience like that on YouTube. Now, you can't necessarily engage with your audience first on YouTube, but when they do engage with you, it's really important that you don't just shoot them back generic replies like, thanks so much for the comment. When you're smaller, you have the time to create really meaningful relationships. And I will say I did this a lot as I was first starting out on YouTube and I had more time. And so instead of just saying, thanks for commenting, I would say, ooh, thanks so much for the comment. Are you a new online English teacher? What other companies do you work for? And I would ask genuine questions and engage in this conversation with someone. And after that, guess what? They felt like we were homies, and oftentimes we were after that. I'm still good friends with some of the people that I met in those early YouTube days. And some of those people that I met in the early YouTube days became my first clients on YouTube. So cool. And so stop worrying so much about the numbers, because I promise if you do these things, you're gonna start scaling, but really focus on seeing your subscribers as human beings and potential friends and people that are gonna invest in you later on if you invest in them and knowing what they're up to and what they want from you. You cannot fail if you go about it like that. Now, if this video was helpful for you, it's so helpful for me. If you can give a thumbs up, be sure to subscribe. And while you wait for next week's video, please go and watch how to set up your homepage to make it look nice and have people understand what you're all about so you can be that Target and not a Walmart. And I will see you next video. Bye.